People must be taught to become rich by creation, not by competition. Every man who becomes rich by competition throws down behind him the ladder by which he rises, and keeps others down. But every man who gets rich by creation opens a way for thousands to follow him, and inspires them to do so. But yeah, you're not showing hardness of heart or an unfeeling disposition when you refuse to pity poverty, see poverty, read about poverty, or think and talk about it, or to listen to those who do not talk about it. Use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep fixed with the faith and the purpose on the vision of what you want. Yeah, of course. Further use of the will. You cannot retain a true or clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they are external or imaginary. Do not tell of your past troubles of financial nature if you have had them. Do not think of them at all. Okay? Do not tell of your past troubles of financial nature if you had them. Do not think of them at all. Do not tell of the poverty of your parents or the hardships of your early life. To do any of these things is to mentally class yourself with the poor of the time being, and it will suddenly check the movement of things in your direction. Let the deed bury their dead. Put poverty and all things that pertain to poverty completely behind you. You have accepted a certain theory of universes as being correct, and resting all your hopes of happiness on its being correct. And can you gain by giving heed to conflicted theories? Do not read the religious books which tell you that the world is soon coming to end, and do not read the writing the mosque breakers and the pessimistic philosophers who tell you that it is going to the devil. The world is not going to the devil, it is going to God. It is wonderful becoming. True, there may be a good many things in existing conditions which are disagreeable, but what is the use of studying them when they are suddenly passing away? And when we study of them only tends to check their passing and keep them with us. Why give time and attention to things which are being removed by evolutionary growth, when you can hasten their removal only by promoting the evolutionary growth as far as your part of it goes? No matter how horrible it seemingly may be the condition in certain countries, selections, or places, you waste your time and destroy your own chances by considering them. You should be interested in yourself and the world becoming rich. Hmm. Think of the riches. Okay, think of the riches the world is coming into, instead of the fault it's growing out of, and bear in mind that the only way in which you can assist the world in growing rich is by growing rich yourself through a creative method, not a comparative one. Give your attention wholly to riches, ignore poverty. Yeah. Whenever you think of speaking of those who are poor, think and speak them as those who are becoming rich, as those who are to congratulate rather than pitied. Then they and others will catch inspiration and begin to search for the way out. Because I say that you are give your whole time and mind and thought of to riches. It does not follow that you are to be the sordid or mean. To become really rigid and nobody's aim, you can have it in life, for it includes everything else. On the comparative plane, the struggle to get rich is goodness, scramble, for power over other men. But when you come into the creative mind, all this is changed. All this is possible in the way of greatness and the soul unfoldment of service and loyalty in the world comes by way of getting rich, all is made possible by use of things. If you lack of physical health, you will find the attainment of it is a conditional on your getting rich. Only those who are emancipated for the financial world and who have the means to live a carefree existence and to follow hygienic practices can have and retain health. Yeah. Moral and the spiritual greatness is possible only to those who are above the comparative battle of existence, and only those who are becoming rich on the plane of creative thought are free from the degrading influences of competition. If your heart is a set of domestic happiness, remember that love flourishes best where there is refinement, a high level of thought, and the freedom from corrupting influences, and these are to be found only where riches is attained by the exercise of creative thought, without the strife and rivalry. You can aim at nothing so great or noble, I repeat. As to become rich, you must fix your attention upon your mental fixture of riches, to the exclusion of all that may tend to be dim or obscure the vision. Okay, that is the most important thing. I must fix my attention upon my mental picture of riches. You must learn to see and underline truth. In all things, you must see beneath all seemingly wrong conditions in a great one life, ever moving forward toward the full expression and a more complete happiness. It is the truth that there is no such thing as poverty, there is only wealth. Some people remain in poverty because they are ignorant of the fact that there is wealth for them, and these can best be taught by showing them the way to affluence in your own person and the practice. Others are poor because, while they feel that there is a way out, they are too intellectually indolent to put forth any mental effort necessary to find that way, and by travel it. And therefore, this is the very best thing you can do is to arouse the desire and showing them the happiness that comes from being Riley rich. Riley rich. Others are still poor because while they have some notion of science, they have become so swamped and lost in a maze of metaphysical and occult theories, they do not know which road to take. They tried a mixture of many systems and failed at all. For these, again, the very best thing to do is to show the right way in your own personal practice, and ounce of the doing things in the West a fond of theorizing. The very best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. You can serve God and the many is no more effective way than the by getting rich. That is, if you get rich by the creative method and not by the comparative one. Another thing we assert that this book gives the detailed principles of science of getting rich, and if that is true, you do not need to read any other book upon the subject. Oh yeah, that's true. Another thing. This may sound narrow and egotistical, but consider there is a normal scientific method of computation in the mathematics then by addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. No other method is possible. That can be, but one short distance between the 2 points. There is only one way to think scientifically, and that is to think in the way that leads by the most direct and the simple route to the goal. No man has yet formulated a briefer or less complex system than the one set forth in the herein. It has been stripped of all non-essentials. When you commence on this, lay all others aside, put them out of your mind altogether. Read this book every day, keep it with you, commit to memory, and do not think about the other systems and theories. If you do, you will begin to have doubts and to be uncertain and wavering in your thought, and then you will begin to make failures. After you have made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please, but until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything on this line but this book, unless it be the authors mentioned in the preface, and read only most optimistic comments on the world's news, those in harmony with your picture. Also postpone your investigation into the occult to not the devil and theosophy, spiritualism, and the kindred studies. It is very likely that they are still alive and are near, but if they are, let them alone. Mind your own business. Wherever the spirits of the dead may be, they have their own work to do and their own problems to solve, and we have no right to interfere with them. We cannot help them, and it is very doubtful whether they can help us, and whether we have any right to trespass upon their time if they can. Let that and clear up the line and solve your own problem. Get rich. If you begin to mix with the cult, you will start mental crossing and courage, which would steadily bring your hopes in a shipwreck. Now this and the preceding chapters have brought us to the following statement of the basic facts. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which are its original state, permeates, penetrates, and unfold interspaces around the universe. Okay. A thought, and this is substance, produces anything that is imaged by thought. Thought. Yeah. And this is substance, produces anything that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the things of other to be created. Okay. In order to do this, man must pass from the comparative to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of the things he wants, and hold this picture in his thoughts with fixed purpose to get what he wants, and unwavering faith that he does get what he wants, closing his mind against all that may tend to shake his purpose, dim his vision, and quench his faith. In addition to all this, we shall now see that he must live and act in a certain way. Acting in a certain way, that is the creative power or impelling force which causes the creative part to act. Thinking in a certain way will bring riches to you, but you must not rely upon that alone. Paying no attention to personal action, that is the rock upon which many otherwise scientific, metaphysical thinkers meet shipwreck. The features to connect the dot within a personal action. We have not reached the stage of development, even supposing such a stage is possible, in which man can create directly from formless substance without the nature's process or the work of human hands. Man must not only think, but his personal action must supplement his thought. Okay. By thought, you can cause a goal in the hearts of the mountains to be impelled to you, but it will not mind itself, refine itself, coin itself into the double eagles, and come rolling along the road and seeking its way into your pocket. Wow. Okay. Commitment, right? Take action. Under the impelling power of the Supreme Spirit, man's affairs will be so ordered that someone will be let to mind the goal for you. Other men's business transactions will be so directed that the goal will be brought towards you, and you must so arrange your own business affairs that you may be able to receive it when it comes to you. Your thought makes all things animate and inanimate, or to bring you what you want, but your personal activity must be such that you can rightly receive in what you want when it reaches you. You are not to take it in charity, nor to steal it. You must give every man more in use value than he gives you in a cash value. The scientific use of thought consists in forming a clear and distinct mental image of what you want, in holding fast to the purpose to get what you want, and in realizing with a grateful faith that you do get what you want. Do not try to project your thought in any mysterious or occult way, with the idea of having it go out and do things for you. That is wasting an effort, and will weaken your power to think with sanity. The action of learning and getting rich is fully explained in the preceding chapters. Your faith and purpose positively impress your vision upon formless substance, which has the same desire for the more life that you have, and this vision received from you sets all the creative forces at work, and through the regular channels of action, but directed toward you. It is not your part to guide or supervise the creative process. All you have to do with that is to retain your vision, stick to your purpose, and maintain your faith and gratitude. But you must then act in a certain way so that you can appropriate what is your when it comes to you, so that you can meet the things that you have in your picture and put them in their proper places as they arrive. You can really see the truth of this. When things enriches you, they will be in the hands of another man who will ask the equivalent for them. And you can only get what is yours by giving the other man what is his. Your pocketbook is not going to transform the internet fortunes in a purse which shall be always full of money without effort on your part. This is a crucial point in the sense of getting rich right here, where thought and personal action must be combined. There are very many people who, consciously or unconsciously, set the creative forces in action by the strength and persistence of their desires, but who remain poor because they did not provide and for the reception of the thing they want when it comes. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Okay, brought to me, and the action, I receive it. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act now. Oh my gosh. 너무 좋아요. Oh, that's beautiful. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act now. How do I? Okay. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. You cannot act in the past, and it is access to the clearness of your mental vision that you dismiss and pass from your mind. You cannot act in the future, for the future is not here yet, and you cannot tell how you will want to act in any future contingency until that contingency has arrived. Okay. By that, hmm, okay. Okay. Right. Hmm. By that, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act now. Oh, okay. You cannot act in the past, and it is essential to the clearness of your mental vision that you dismiss and pass from your mind. You cannot act in the future, for the future is not here yet. Act you cannot tell how you will want to act in your future contingency until that contingency has arrived. Okay? Because you are not in the right business or the right environment now. Do not think that you must postpone an action until you get into the right business or environment. And do not spend your time in the present taking thought as to the best course in the possible future emergencies. Have a faith in your ability to meet any emergency when it arrives. If you act in the present with your mind on the future, your present action will be within a divided mind and will not be effective. Put your whole mind into present action. Wow. Put my whole mind into present action. Do not give your creative impulse to original substance. 죄송해요. I'm sorry. And then sit down and wait for the result. If you do, you will never get them. Act now. There is never any time but now. And there never will be any time but now. If you're ever to begin to make ready for the reception of what you want, you must begin now. And your action, whatever it is, must most likely be in your present business or employment, and must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. And your action, whatever it is, must most likely be in your present business or employment, and must be upon the persons and things in your present environment. And you cannot act where you are not. You cannot act where you have been, and you cannot act where you are going to be. You can act only where you are. Do not bother asking whether yesterday's work was well done or ill done. To do today's work well. I'm sorry. Wow. Do not bother as to whether yesterday's work was well done or ill done. Do today's work well. Do not try to do tomorrow's work now. There will be plenty of time to do that when you get it to. Do not try, by occult and mystical means, to act on people or things that are out of your reach. Do not wait for the change of environment before you act. Get a change of environment by action. You can so act upon the environment in which you are now as to cause yourself to be transferred to the better environment. Hold with the faith and the purpose the vision of yourself in the better environment, but act upon your present environment with all your heart and with all your strength and with all your mind. Do not wait for the change of environment before you act. Get a change of environment by action. Do not spend any time in daydreaming and castle building. Call to the one vision of what you want and act now. Do not cast about the seeking some new things to do or some strange, unusual, or remarkable action to perform as the first step toward getting rich. It is probable that your actions, at least and for some time to come, will be those you have been performing for some time past. But you are to begin now to perform these actions in a certain way, which will surely make you rich. If you are engaged in some business and feel that it is not the right one for you, do not wait until you get into the right business before you begin to act. Do not feel discouraged or sit down and lament because you are misplaced. No one was ever so misplaced but they who could not find the right place, and no man ever became so involved in a long business but they who could get into the right business. Hold the vision of yourself in the right business with the purpose to get into it and the faith that you will get into it and are getting into it, but act in your present business. Use the present business as the means of getting a better one, and use your present environment as the means of getting into a better one. Your vision of the right business, if it held with a faith and purpose, will cause an sprint to move the right business towards you. And your action, if performed in a certain way, will cause you to move toward the business. If you are unemployed or wage owner and feel that you must change your places in order to get what you want, do not project your thought into the space and rely upon it to get you another job. It will probably fail to do so. Hold the vision of yourself in the job you want, while you act with faith and purpose on the job you have, and you will certainly get the job you want. Okay. Your vision and the faith will set the creative force in motion to bring it in towards you, and your action will cause the forces in your own environment to move you toward the place that you want. In closing, this chapter we will add another statement to your syllabus. There is a thinking style from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates and penetrates and fills the inner space of the universe. A thought, and this is substance, produces a thing that is imaged by thought. Man can form things in his thought, and the way impressing his thought upon form his substance can use thing he thinks about to be creative. Oh my god, it's exactly same thing? A page? Really? Oh my god. I read this one. Exactly same. Okay, it is what it is. In order to do this, man must invest when compared to the creative mind. He must form a clear mental picture of things he wants and hold this picture in his thoughts, which the fix the purpose to get what he wants, and unwavering faith that he does not get what he wants, and closing his mind to all that may tend to shake his purpose and dim his vision, or crunch his faith that he may receive what he wants, and when it comes, man must act now upon the people and things in his place environment. Efficient action. Oh, okay, I think that he wrote. He repeated right again. Okay, here, this one. Efficient act. Okay, what is efficient act? You must use your thought as directed in previous chapters, and begin to do what you can do where you are, and you must do all that you can do where you are. You can advance only being larger than your present place, and no man is larger than his present place who lives on that any of the work pertaining to that place. The world is advanced only by those who more than fill their present places. If no man quite filled his present place, you can see that there must be no going backward in everything. Those who do not quite fill their present places and in that with an open society, government, commerce, and industry, they must be carried along by others at a great expense. The progress of the world is retarded only those who do not fill the places in their holding. They belong to a former, ager and lower stage or plane of life, and their tendency is toward degeneration. No society could advance if every man was in a smaller than his place. Social evolution is guided by the love of physical and the mental evolution. In the animal world, evolution is caused by excess of life. When an organism has more life than can be expressed in a function of its own plane, it develops in organs of a higher plane, and a new species is originated. There never would have been new species in high. There are not been organisms which more than fill their places. The law is exactly the same for you. Your getting rich depends upon your applying this principle to your own affairs. Every day is either a successful day or a day of failure, and it isn't a successful day which gets you what you want. If every day is a failure, you can never get rich. Why, if there isn't a success, you cannot fail to get rich? If there isn't something that may be done today, and to not to do it, and have failed it so far as that there is a concern that and the consequences may be more disastrous than that you imagine. You cannot foresee the result of every most trivial act. You do not know the working of the all forces that have been set moving in your behalf. Much may be depending on your doing some simple act. It may be the very thing which will open the door of opportunity to very great possibilities. You can never know all the combinations in which supreme intelligence it is making for you the world of things and human affairs. Your neglect to fail to do some small thing may cause a long delay in getting what you want. Do every day all that can be done that day, okay? There is, however, a limitation or qualification of the above and that you must take into account. You are not to overwork, nor to rush blindly into your business in an effort to greatest in a possible number of things in the shortest possible time. You are not trying to do tomorrow's work today, nor do weeks in a work in a day. It is really not the number of things you do, but the efficiency of each separate action that counts. Every act is itself either a success or failure. Every act is itself either effective or inefficient. Every inefficient act is failure, and if you spend your life in doing efficient acts, then the whole life will be the failure. You more things you do, the worse for you if you're actually inefficient ones. And all it's like expression is negative. Why he just wrote on this? Okay, here. Finally, on the other hand, every efficient act is successful itself. And if every action of your life is an efficient one, your whole life must be a success, of course. The cause of failure is doing too many things in an efficient manner and not doing enough things in an efficient manner. You will see that it is a self-evident proposition that if you do not do any inefficient acts, and if you do a sufficient number of efficient acts, you will become rich. If now, it is possible for you to make each act an efficient one, you see again that in getting of riches is reducing an exact science like mathematics. The matter turns then on the question whether you can make each separate act of a success itself, and this you can certainly do. You can make each act a success because all power is working with you, and all power cannot fail. Power is at your service, and to make each act efficient, you have only put power into it. Every action is either strong or weak, and when everyone is strong, you're acting in a certain way which will make you rich. Every action can be made strong and efficient by holding your vision while you are doing it and putting the whole power of your faith and the purpose into it. It is at this point that the people fail who separate mental power from the person action. They use the power of mind in one place and at one time, and they act in another place and add another mind. So their acts are not successful in themselves. Too many of them are inefficient. But if all power goes into every act, no matter how commonplace, every act will be successful itself. Okay? Wow. Mm. And the essence in the nature of things and every success opens the way to other successes and your progress toward what you want. And the progress of what you want towards you will become increasingly rapid. Remember that successful action is to culminate in its results. Since the desire for more life is inherent in all things, when a man begins to move toward a larger life and more things attach themselves to him and the influence of his desires multiplied. Do every day all that you can do that day and do each act in an efficient manner. Yeah. Do every day all that you can do that day and do each action in an efficient manner. In saying that, you must hold your vision while you are doing each act, however troubled and commonplace. I do not mean to say that it is necessary at all times to see the vision distinct to its smallest details. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination and details of your vision, and to contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon the memory. If you wish speedy results and spend practically all your spare time in this practice. Okay. It should be the work of your leisure hours to use your imagination and details of your vision and do contemplate them until they are firmly fixed upon memory. If you wish to speedy results, spend practically all your spare time in this practice. Okay. Hmm.